welcome to another brand new episode here on Fs25, Riverbend Springs, and everyone hates Walter. I say that every week, but we don't really hate Walter. We're just a bit annoyed at him for holding out on us and having farms and land everywhere and telling us, oh, I'm so old and I'm so decrepit and blah, 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 and I need you to take over and all, blah, blah, blah. And then it turns out, nah, he doesn't need that at all. We just, the crappiest part of his business he couldn't be bothered with, so he thought, I know what I'll do. I'll give it to my only grandson, the only one that's ever come and visit me. Yeah, I'll crap on him. Anyway, that's what's happened. And we're doing okay for ourselves, thank you very much. So I've just cut some more trees down just off camera there, just for 10 minutes, just to put some trees in the old sawmill, and I've cut them down, and as I say, I've filled that up pretty much back to the top, because we need the money, because so I had a bit of a funny message, and someone said, please can you sort out that yard, it's beginning to upset my OCD, right? Which I'd watched the video probably not 10 minutes before I got that message, and I was sitting there and I was looking at it and I was thinking, I've got to sort that yard out, because that is starting to drive me nuts. I was thinking, I'm not going to be able to watch any of these bloody videos if I don't sort that farm out, I thought, because it's, yeah, and I saw we're going for some money. As I say, we filled the sawmill back up, and that should give us enough to start, to get us to buy some vehicle sheds. Once we get the vehicle sheds, then we can all begin to rest a little bit easier and think, oh, thank God he's tidied up, because I don't, it's weird, really. I don't like mess in my life. The only place I like mess is my car, which is really odd. Yeah, literally, like, the only place that I'm sort of okay with mess is my car. But everywhere else, it has to be tidy, it has to be neat, it has to be this, it has to be that, And as I say, it sort of doesn't really, it never really bothered me while, I'm sort of recording the episodes and stuff, because I kind of like, I'm like now, I'm in the field. You remember from last episode, we were in this field, we were combining. We've got 3 more fields to combine. Then we've got some grass cutting to do, and different things like that. And and when I'm out in the fields, obviously you don't see it, out of sight, out of mind. But then when you get winter time and you're sort of in the yard quite a bit, because obviously there's not as much to do, then. That's when it. But I'd say I was watching the episode like literally 10 minutes before I got that message, and I'd sat there and thought exactly the same thing. So yeah, I'm on it. I will get it done as quickly as possible. So yeah. Anyway, hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all having a good day. My day's not going too bad. It's very early in the morning, so it's quite quiet. As I say, like, it's early in the morning, and things are all quiet on the Western Front at the moment. So yeah, as I say, we'll get this field baled, then we'll come back and get it collected, and then we'll be straight into harvesting those 3 fields. And then obviously, with farming, as you have to do, we'll get the fields turned around, and we will then get the grass cut and different things like that. Then tomorrow on the game, we'll be able to sell our wood, which should give us some money for some machinery sheds. So I'm not too sure really at the moment where I think the machinery shed should go, mainly because inside that yard as well, I need to get pigs in there, and I need to get chickens in there, obviously. So at the moment I'm not really sort of sure where where to put these things, but I'm sure we'll figure something out, obviously. And then it's going to be a case of we need to then start to have a little look around, and then buy some land to build our house on, because obviously we're living at the moment with Walter, and it's not ideal because obviously there's a bloody great sawmill right in front of his house, and also there's a lot of bees around his house, and bees do a very important job in real life, but I don't like them. So there is no way in real life I would be living in that house. I remember as a kid coming home from I don't know where I'd been, would probably work, I would imagine. It was summertime, it was middle of the summer, and I remember it was a Sunday, so it could well have been that I was at work and I'd come home for my tea, and then I'd go back again like after my tea, and came home and I got out of the car. Well, I was in the car and I was sort of listening to the song that was just finishing, because you have to do that. The song's still going to be there. You can start it again when you get back in the car, but now I've got to listen to the end of this song. And anyway, but because it was a hot day, so I'm listening, got the engine off, listening to the end of the song, door wide open, and just audible over the racket of my radio was this like really. I'll tell you what it sounded like. It sounded like so like I like going to like car racing, and sometimes when you go, if they're practicing and there's enough of them practicing, or if you get there slightly late and the meeting's already started, there's this like really continual drone of the engine, the engines of the cars racing around, and that's what it sounded like. And I was sort of listening, and I thought, what the hell is that, And anyway, I was sort of like, listening to the end of the song, turn the radio off, got out, and a couple of bees sort of flew around me, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm going in, and so I ran into their house. Right, I got stung when I was a kid by two or three bees, and yeah, I've not really liked them ever since. And I wasn't doing anything either. I remember it quite clearly. I was probably about 6 or 7 years of age, and I was playing on the front lawn with my tractors, and yeah, a couple of bees just came over, and whether I'd sort of swipe, I can't remember what I must, because obviously you've done something to get them to sting, because for a bee it's a last resort, and yeah, I say a couple of bees stung me, and I never really understood why, because I don't remember doing anything, but like I say, they stung me, and I've not liked them since. So I sort of ran into the house and had my tea and whatever else, and I said to Dad, I said, oh, there was a couple of bees around me when I got out, and he went, yeah, yeah, yeah. He said, well, he said, time of year, innit? Because obviously people in my family know I don't like bees. And he's going, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, time of year, innit? So I said, yeah, yeah. So anyway, sitting there with a grin on his face. So I said, what are you laughing at? So he's going, no, 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 no. He said, well, I didn't say laughing. I said, what are you smirking at? He said, no, no, no. He said, nothing, no. He said, time of year, mate. So I said, what do you know that I don't know? Going, nothing, nothing. He said, oh, you're paranoid, ain't you? I said, something's going on here. He goes, well, he said, that tree that you've parked outside of, don't you? I said, yeah. And we had like 3 cherry trees in the grass, and I used to park my car on the side of the drive that was not far from those trees. And I said, yeah. He said, well, he said 2 of those trees have got massive, great big bee nests in them. And I was like, you're joking. I said, all my windows are open on my car. And he's going, whoa. He goes, I'd go out there and shut them if I was you. So I goes running out there. I packed my squash. I still had like, sort of 45 minutes, maybe an hour left of my breaks. I used to get an hour and a half to have my tea and that. And so I still had quite a long time, and I made my drink, and I packed my bag full of snacks for late at night, and I went out there, and luckily my car didn't have no bees in it, and I happened to then look into the tree and saw this huge bloody great nest. So I'm driving down the road and get back onto my tractor, and I ring my dad and I said, "You got to get that bloody nest gone." Dad goes, "I ain't going anywhere near it," he said. At the end of the day, he said, "They ain't really hurting, no." He said, "They're in a tree, you know." He said, like, "You just leave them be." So I was like, "Yeah, we're not having that," and I refused to go home for a couple of days. But yeah, I stayed in one of the work. So work had some like chalet bungalow type sort of buildings, and they were, you know, if say we got back to the yard at, I don't know, say 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and you know we were tired and we didn't want to drive home, and you know, you could then stay in one of those overnight, and it had a shower and a kitchen, and they was always, you know, sort of stocked with food and stuff. So you know, the farm always made sure that we had everything we needed while we were there, and yeah, I stayed in one of them for a couple of nights. And then I got a phone call one day from, you know, a couple of days later from my dad, and he went, "Bees have all gone." And I said, like, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, bees have all gone." He said, like, you know, he said, "There's no real, you know, sort of trace of them, no real sign they've ever been here." He said, "But they've all gone." So I went home then. But yeah, anyway, I digress. What we're going to do is we're going to get on the combine and we're going to go and do those 3 fields. Just want to make sure that the cows are okay, because the cows seem to eat far more in FS25 than they ever did in FS22. Yeah, we're not doing too bad. And I've discovered another thing, another thing about this game that slightly winds me up. Well, it does wind me up a little bit, but it also doesn't make sense. So I've discovered that the dairy that is, get my bearings, excuse me, a bit of a sore throat again this morning, I don't know why, which is over in that direction, I think. So there's a dairy near the railway line, and I thought, oh great, well, all I'll do is I'll lease the dairy, and we can start taking our milk and getting some butter and cheese and, you know, blah 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 made. I thought that'd be fantastic. You know, we just do the lot, because eventually what's going to happen is obviously these are gonna, you know, these are going to multiply. They're going to give birth, and you know, we're going to end up with more and more cows. You know, that's obviously the plan. You know, we can fit 243 in there, so I thought, you know, that's quite good. You know, that means that we'll be able to get, you know, a lot of cows in there, and that means they're producing milk quite fast, and we're doing TMR, so I thought, you know, we'll be right on, you know. But yeah, the dairy, for whatever reason, is only a sell point. You can't actually produce milk, butter, cheese, or anything from there. So that does now mean that somewhere we've got to put down a dairy. And let's have a look. Construction. Wrong one. I want that one. I've probably already gone by it, and everybody has. Oh, there we go. Right, dairy 210. That's the soup factory. Alright, so the dairy. What? Oh yeah, that's okay. We're not putting it down yet anyway. I was thinking can probably go there. I mean, we're not going to be able to put it there because there's a pallet of thingy there, but I thought we could put it there. But yeah, so that's my sort of kind of thought. But I mean, again, you know, it's 210 grand. Well, that's the tip trigger. Where's the trigger then for the actual stuff? I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, so we've got to put our own dairy down there as well, which I wasn't that happy about. Because when you come into here, as I say, you can't. It's not there to be leased because it's only a sell point. It's not actually a usable factory, so to speak, which just absolutely amazed me. I was like, what the hell point is that? Anyway, let's crack on with this down here. We're not going to take the header blade down, the header trailers down there, but what we are going to do is just move it a little bit nearer so that we can just get straight in, but we can go down the bank there. So we can go down the bank, get that done. We've also got to go and collect the bales from that other field, but we will do this. We'll get these combined and we'll get these baled, and then we'll collect the bales all at the same time. It might even be, now you can do this in real life, but that's how you would go down it. You wouldn't just go straight down it, you would go down it like that. Otherwise you might find yourself in a little bit of bother. But yeah, anyway, as I say, I'm going to switch over to a little bit of time lapse. We're going to get these 3 fields harvested. I might even drive the combine myself, because I say I'm going to get them harvested, and then we'll get the harvester back. Just get the tractor and trailer. We'll get the harvester back, and then what we'll do is we will bale them, and then we'll go and collect the straw bales, get them in the shed, as I say, and then we've got to start getting our our sort of field turned around, ready for planting for next year. Alright, so we'll leave the tractor and trailer there, and as I say, I'll probably have a go at driving the combine. I like driving the combine, so that's what we'll do. So as I will see you in a little bit. Alright, so we're getting through it. Slowly but surely we are getting through this. We've just obviously got this little bit, excuse me, this little bit here to do, and then that little bit over there to do. So it's not going too bad. Going to get plenty of bales off here, which is good, because we're going to, you know, as I said earlier at the beginning of the episode, you know, it seems to me that the cows use a lot more, you know, sort of straw and food than they ever did in Fs25. Yeah, we're going to need to keep the cycle of grass and silage and hay and, well, hay and silage and straw going. As I say, it's been quite surprising the amount they do eat, but never mind. And so it has gone. It's gone pretty well. This I'm quite pleased with how it's yielded. You know, so we'll have enough. So I don't know whether to do full productions or whether to kind of not do full productions, just because I have got obviously a save that or a series that I'm doing at the moment where I am doing sort of full productions, or at least starting to do full productions, but that is the intention of the series. So I don't know whether to do it in this one or not as well, because some people are a fan of productions and everything that's involved, and some people aren't. So it's nice to have the mix. You know, it's nice to do, you know, a save or a series or whatever for the people that do. But at the same time, you know, obviously you want to then sort of not do that every time, you know, for the people that are not so keen on it. I must admit, I never was keen on it until Carmlands, and I did the Carmlands challenge, and then all of a sudden, it was I ever since then I just love it. Like, you know, I literally love it because it gives you so much more to do. Because I do find that with Farming Simulator that, you know, in the winter months the game can get a little bit boring and dull, because there's, you know, there's not really that much to do. So I do find that doing the productions over winter and stuff like that, you know, it does give you you know, more work. And I mean, to be fair, actually, it's not as bad in Fs25 as it was in Fs22, because I do sort of tend to find that now I will skip you know, the days, which I don't like doing. You know, it's, it's a case of, in real life, I hate wasting my day. Do you know what I mean? Like, I like to get to sort of, you know, 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening and think, right, I've had a productive day today. I've done this, 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 and this, and what have you. And then, you know, so I hate wasting days. And when you skip days on well, certainly on Fs25, I must admit, I do sit there thinking, I'm skipping a perfectly good day here. I'm not happy about this, but, you know, if you've got nothing to do, you can't go, you know, you can't simulate a whole day of you just, you know, essentially sitting in an armchair watching TV. You know, you know, you need to move on to get to some more interesting, you know, sort of work and stuff. So yeah, but so I'm not sure whether to do it or not, or whether, I don't know, or whether we just sort of run it really as an arable slash dairy, and we just sell our oats and our wheats and whatever else we produce. You know, we just sell them for what they are. I mean, the wheat we'll need to use for, although we could use sorghum, there's no reason why not. But, you know, one of those sort of crops we're going to need to use for chicken feed anyway, because obviously the chickens are going to need feeding, and also as well, we're going to need food for the pigs, and it's one of the reasons why I haven't really gone for the pigs yet, is because my intentions are to feed the pigs sugar beet. Just because obviously you only need a field of it, and that should be enough in theory to feed the pigs all the way through till the next year. But obviously, we're a long way from having sugar beet at the moment because, we don't have the money. Not only do we not have the money, we don't really have the land. And as I say, on the money side of it, we need to buy more land. We'll need to buy, a sugar beet harvester. We'll need to buy the pigs. We're looking at probably needing I should think, getting on for £1 million, if not over £1 million, for all that. So it's it's a big investment. The majority of the investment will be the harvester. Then we'll need the drilling equipment, the planting equipment, and as I say, we also need some more land to put it in. Because at the moment, obviously, we're growing wheat and oats and stuff like that for the straw. So not only do we need to still grow the same amount of straw, but then we need more land to be able to then grow, the other produce. So yeah, it's 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 we're a long way from being where we ultimately want to be on the game. We are a long way from that at the moment in time. But I don't, personally, I don't mind it. I yesterday, for the first time, I mean, it's been out over a week now, and yesterday I actually loaded in, or downloaded and then loaded in, Carmlan's Farm, and again, as I've always said, an absolute stunning map. Honestly, it's beautiful in every way it can be. And for me, there's been quite a few little improvements on it. The fact that you can now sell everything, like including the gates and the hedges and stuff like that, which means you can now sort of kind of shape the map a little bit more how you want without having to go into Giants Editor. So I think that's a really good addition. But again, for me, it's like the fields are really big, but the roads can only take really the smallest equipment, and it doesn't really go together. It's almost a sort of contradiction in a way, because as I say, the fields are quite big fields, but the roads are not big enough to take the equipment. You're going to need medium to large equipment to farm that map, efficiently. But as I say, once you start getting above the medium equipment and start getting into the larger equipment, the lanes, they can't really take it, and so then it begins to have a sort of detrimental impact on your sort of your save that you're doing, i.e. because I like to try and do it as realistically as I can, like to have sort of 2 tractors and trailers for 1 combine, and tractors and trailers running to and from any harvester that you've got, sugar beet, potatoes, whatever. Now we've got peas, spinach, and beans, and you can't do that, and it becomes very, very difficult. I mean, the only way at the moment that I can see that you would maybe be able to get around that is if you had 2 tractors and trailers, but you only ever had one on helper, and then the other one just sat in the field, and you wouldn't send the other one until the other one was back. But as I say, that's really realistically the only way you can do it. But as I say, stunning map, beautiful. The same with all of the maps that Oxygen David makes, and you can't fault the quality, but the playability is questionable sometimes, in my opinion. You know, just sometimes it's like, well, you know, I think if he could strike a balance between saying, well, this is what's ultra realistic, because obviously that's based on a real farm and a real area, so that, you know, so sort of say, well, you know, the field layouts are the same, you know, the farm layouts are the same, etc., etc., etc. However, you know, this should have been, you know, the single track roads maybe could be two-way roads, you know, and just have it, you know, like that, just to make it a little bit more playable. But yeah, as I say, I thought I'd load it in and give it a go. You know, obviously YouTube is absolutely full of let's plays on Calmston, so unless it's requested by viewers, I won't be doing a series on Calmston. I did consider. Don't know what happened there. I did consider it. I considered doing the Lonely Farmer, doing a series called The Lonely Farmer. Literally doing every single job myself. So you have one combine, one tractor that, you know, takes all the implements, trailers, and everything, and it's literally just me that farms the whole map. But I sort of, I don't know. I think in the end, I kind of convinced myself that that perhaps wouldn't be interesting. So I sort of decided against it. But like I say, if it gets requested, you know, by people that watch my videos, and I know there's at least two out there, and I'm one of them. um, but yeah, so if it gets requested, I might consider it, but otherwise, as I say, I won't be, because you know, it's just everyone else is doing it really, and you know, there's no real you know, I think you can get too much of a good thing, and not only that as well, but everybody's also, you know, got started already, so you know, I'm already playing catch up. But yeah, so but there will be, you know, new series when new maps do come. I've been playing on the I think it's called the Funky Badger match. Uh, I'll say that again, the Funky Badger map. There we go. I've been playing on that, and that's just been released onto the mod hub now. So that's been in sort of kind of better release on sort of independent uh, download sites or mod sites, you know. But now it's now actually available on the mod hub, and yeah, so I have been playing a little bit of that, because I've just been trying to get into Fs25, because I'm really struggling to get into it. As I say, I'm sort of playing mainly Fs22 really, but I would like to get into Fs25. I would like to you know, and I think maybe once maps start coming out for it, I think that will help. I think possibly it's just a case of I've kind of got bored with Riverbend Springs in terms of like my own saves. I quite like my Market Farmers say, you know, series that we're doing on YouTube, and I like this one as well. I do find this one quite enjoyable as well. So it's kind of like, it's good in that aspect that, you know, I sort of have got into these two series, and so I'm able to sort of carry on. But yeah, as for you know, sort of doing anything by myself, sort of, you know, just for myself in the evenings, then yeah, Fs22 all the way at the moment. Playing a sort of mixture between the Vintage Oaks and Homewold Farm. So I've started a dairy farm on Homewold, and so I'm quite sort of enjoying that and what have you. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to switch back to a little bit of time lapse, and what I'm going to do in this time lapse, I'm going to get the combining done, I'm going to get it baled, and I'm also going to get the bales collected, and then we'll meet you after that. So I'll see you in a bit. Bye for now. interrupt this music to bring you a live broadcast. Can anyone see or remember where I left my McCormick with the baler on? I'm almost certain I drove it back to the... but I can't find it. Oh, there it is. The combine was hiding it. I was like, I drove the combine in and I saw it, and I thought I'll go get that tractor and trailer, and then when I come back, obviously, I'll I'll start with the I'll just jump on the baler and we'll get going, sort of thing. And then I jumped off the tractor and trailer, and it was like, I've literally just seen it. And excuse the crash, by the way, into the barrier there. That wasn't me kind of just trying to cheat and cut corners. So my keyboard is a little bit damaged, and it has a tendency, I think the circuit board inside of it has been damaged, because it has a tendency to just suddenly turn left. It's a it's a unique thing. It doesn't happen all the time. I think it happens when I kind of put a little bit too much weight on the left hand side of my keyboard, and I think the A key is a little bit damaged, and as I say, I think it sort of triggers it without the key actually being pressed. So that was the reason why that happened. But yeah, anyway, we'll go back to some music, and I'll crack on with getting these baled and collected, and I'll see you in a minute now that I've found my tractor. So I'll see you in a bit. So I'm back, yes, and there we go. We have got the combining done, we've got the baling done. And now we're just going to collect. What we'll do is, I'm going to leave this episode here. And in the next episode, we will go and get the other field collected. And then we will skip on to the next day. And then we will, as I said earlier, we will then get on with getting the land prepared, ready for next year's crops, and get next year's crops in. If we've got, as I say, if we've got time, which we should have, we should be fine. It's only 1 day season, so it can be sometimes a little bit tricky to get everything done, but we should be fine. And I also put the first load of bales in the wrong blooming store, because I'm fairly certain this is the straw store. Yeah, it is, and that's not easy for me to say apparently. But yeah, so I've put the wrong bloody bales in the wrong store, so I will take them out and I will put them in that one, but I'll do that off camera. But yeah, so we will, as I say, next episode we will get on with the field work and field prep and get drilled up to the point where we want to be drilled up, and then from there we will then have other work to do. I think as well next time when we come back for next episode as well, we'll also have wood to take as well. It looks as if wood is starting to really spawn there now, so yeah, we'll be doing that. But as I say, I'm going to leave it here for this episode, so thanks ever so much for watching. I really do appreciate every single view that I get, and you know, as I say, I appreciate it because I know that in order for people to watch my videos, you have to take a moment or two out of your day to watch and listen to me, so I really do appreciate it. And I can't wait to see you in the next episode, so I'll say bye for now. Bye for now.